Green? As soon as I pull this laptop, it hasn't turned on yet. Oh, there it goes. This laptop will be for what, Wando? For the rest? Oh, it's Twitch. I see. Over here? Oh, it's not full. My computer's like lagging a little bit. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
HDMI 1, no signal, is it on?
This computer's not responding. Something's wrong with my computer, dude. So, yeah. So let's just use that one because this one's tripping a little, dude. Is that cool? We could reference on that one? Yeah, for sure. Okay. Okay. 5. Okay, 5. Everything's set, so I just need to press green button, right? Yeah, and we're live now. We're live now at this moment, at this second. Okay, so then, do I need to still hit this button? There we go. So we are live now,
HDMI 1.
and my producer says that we are live, and we're going live. So I'm gonna switch off of IG right now. Boom. Goodbye, guys. Okay, and now we're starting the podcast. Welcome to LA Natives. My name is Zero El Vuh. I'm pretty much a hip-hop artist from Los Angeles of native descent, and I've decided to do this podcast, and Underground Hip Hop Blog gave me the platform to do it, and here we go. But I want to introduce myself with my music, and I thought that, maybe we could run through my first video, my latest video, Doctrine of Discovery, and then maybe get into some topics and then get some brothers on the phone and go from there. So for now, we're going to hit that video. What do you think? We good? Let's do it.
The earliest edict of this kind was the Doom de Versailles, issued by Pope Nicholas V, which gave colonizing Europeans permission directly from God to, quote, capture, vanquish, and subdue the enemies of Christ, to put them into perpetual slavery, and to take all their possessions.
African style, half jab, on my lyrics hit hard. African style, half jab, on my lyrics hit hard.
It seems like the trail of tears never ends. The harder the light, the darker the skin. When did this begin? The greed of evil men who happen to have white pale skin. Write down the laws, create the constitutions. We the people, just a pimped out illusion. A trickery of words that deceive the lost herds. But ancient are my people, let us send my word. Cause the gods of time, they write my rhymes. They keep my heart divine so I can see between the lines. The stars are the sign that travel space and time. You can never own my spirit, you will never own my mind.
They stand for my place in the stars. African style, half jab, on my lyrics hit hard. African style, half jab, on my lyrics hit hard. Lyrics hit hard. Lyrics hit hard. African style, half jab, on my lyrics hit hard.
You see the spirits in the wind have a deal with men to never hurt the earth and to always defend the elders, the children. Sacred is the flower that we call our women. The power of creation, the seventh generation, the carriers of light. They suffered so much through a 500-year night. Raping Spaniards, pedophile priests, manifest destiny, mark of the beast. We seem to have forgotten the Spanish Inquisition when they murdered fucking millions in the name of their religion. Another modern day rendition, but a vaccine inquisition. Remember billionaire elites and corrupt politicians. These are the seeds of white supremacy, white superiority over colored majorities. Doctrine of discovery, 1493.
Ghost of the ancient set in a sage scent. Ghost of the ancient set in a sage scent.
Ghost of the ancient set in the sage scent. Ghost of the ancient set in the sage scent. The Vatican strangles the Pope with a rosary. The Vatican strangles the Pope with a rosary. The Vatican strangles the Pope with a rosary.
Hello, hello, hello. So Zero, you started a new podcast. Now your community is out there reaching out to hear what you have to say. And what I have to say is that there's some really dope hip hop that Native people make. And with this show, we're going to try to expose as much as we can. And go into other topics, you know, topics that need to be discussed. I know when I came into my light about knowing who I was and knowing my true history of being a Native, you know, I found out that Native people are pure art. Native people are beautiful caretakers, innately connected, not only to this world, but to this universe.
HDMI 1.
And all of
no
us-
signal is it on?
And all of us,
HDMI 1.
all of us are a part of that vision in that world, you know. So coming on this blog, trying to ground myself, trying not to be nervous, to spread a message that I've been spreading for over 20 years. The message of we have a home, we have a land. No matter who came and did whatever they needed to feel like they needed to do and document, archive, and impose, this is our place. This is our home. No one can ever take that from us. All we could do is watch that silly man get so insane that he takes his own self out. You know, so this show is not a protest. This show is not something that you're going to use to what we call fight the system, because this is a ceremony. Your life is a ceremony. And in ceremony, we're just aware and we're humbled to everything around us, accepting what challenges come our way. So, yeah, I want to get these guys from Kozmic Force in the conversation, and I'm going to try to get them on the phone, but let's switch the music up a little bit, play a classic, you know, Ciudad Celestial. As I do this real quick, bear with me. It is 4:44 in the afternoon as we do this podcast. So here we go. Let me call these guys. I hope they're ready. Let me send them a quick message. Let them know. You know, I don't have a producer, so I have to do all this on my own, so please bear with me, but, you know, we're doing this one thing at a time. Okay. Yeah, that was that. Boom. Call. Call. Yo, yo, yo. Our Bluetooth. Here we go. Here we go. Threat. Is this Threat or is this Jag?
This is Jag, bro. How's it
What
going?
up, Jag? We got you on here, bro. What's up? How you doing?
So, am I live?
Right on. Yeah, you're on, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm not sure if they can hear you can hear the rest of the show, but I know mine and your connection is on. So
Cool. I can hear the music and I can hear you.
okay. More. Okay. So we're working it out right here with the podcast brother right here. Anyway, so
Cool.
hey man, glad you accepted my invitation and I'm so happy that you're here. So let me see if I could group chat or add Threat to the call, okay, brother? So just give me 1 second.
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. All right, this is working. This is working. Hello?
Yo.
Threat.
Yo. What up, Zero?
Jag.
Yes,
What?
sir. I'm here.
Nice. Got it.
Hey.
Hey, brothers. So first, let me just start off with just being honored to have you guys on my show. This is my first podcast, so please bear with the bumps and bruises, but we're here. And let's talk
Yes.
native hip hop, right?
Mm.
So
Stop. Thank you, bro. Thank you for having us. It's an honor.
absolutely.
Yeah, thank
So
you.
and then also too, feel free to like chime in whenever you can. You know, it's the podcast, bro, and we need to be talking to each other. And feel free to interject whenever
HDMI 1.
is appropriate. But
HDMI 1.
yeah, brother. So I found out about Cosmic Force by seeing them play live, and I thought, wow, these guys took it to another level, you know, and their success is just evident due to the, you know, if you don't follow them on their page. They have great music, they have great videos, and yeah, man. So introduce yourselves for a second.
Go ahead, Threat. So my name is Native Threat. I'm on behalf of Cosmic Force. We're from the IE. Jag.
Yeah, I go by Jag Arreola, formerly known as Jaguar. That's what I used to rap under. I am now under the alias Jag Arreola. And same, I'm from the Inland Empire. I grew up with Threat in the same neighborhood. So, yeah, man, thank you for having us, Zero.
Right on. So
Thank
you guys grew up together, right? Like around in the same neighborhood. Do you guys know each other?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
so
Definitely. Yeah.
That's dope when
Yeah, so-
when the bond of artists starts at that level. You know what I mean? And then now you're evolving it into whatever you're doing now. That's like, man, because I'm sure that when you first met, you guys weren't rapping about native stuff, were you?
yeah, definitely not. I want to say, we met before the rap stuff. We just connected just on more on a friendship level. I was rapping, you know, but I wasn't on my my Red Road and my indigeneity. I was just more of I guess, you know, aware of the things you know that were going on at the time, you know, politically and socially, but not in depth of how we're doing it now, you know.
Right on.
And same on my side. I actually wasn't rapping when I met Threat. Me and him were just homies. We kind of kicked it, went to the same parties, you know, hung out around the same crowd, same people, and we used to train together too, like kind of like martial arts and shit like that. Like link up, just kind of work out, you know, get the burpees in, and but I wasn't rapping. Threat been rapping for many years before I did, so.
All right on.
But yeah, we met a lot. We met way before that. Way before I started rapping, for sure.
So did Threat inspire you to rap? Did he say, "Hey, homie, you gotta jump on. What's up?" Did he do that?
I was definitely inspired to know that I had a homie in my neighborhood that rapped, you know, because so yeah, I would say yeah, for sure he did inspire me to rap to a certain degree, because at least in my neighborhood there was only a couple cats that rap, you know, and it's just intriguing to even know, like, damn, like this brother actually gets in a studio, whether it's a home one or like a quote unquote legit studio. He's doing it. He makes CDs. He fucking presses them, hands them out, sells them, whatever. So it was for sure inspirational. But I had other influences, of course, that inspired me to make music.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you just put it together with Threat. You're just like, look, this is a connection right here, and we can do some stuff together. So,
Yeah, for
and it's
sure.
been powerful too. I mean that song, Sangre Indígena in mis venas, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
That video
Yeah,
is
man. Thank you.
intense. I think the youth connect to it. They understand what you're saying, and it's like it's crazy to see the next generation underneath you pick up the torch and still keep moving it in the good way. You know what I mean? Because the artists that came before you are evolving on a different plane at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're a little older and we kind of conceptualize things just a little different. But the fire of the youth coming through in the same manner with the same power, I'm ready to give it up to you guys for that.
Thank
Appreciate
you,
that. Thank you, bro.
and thank you too. You El Vuh and even Aslan Underground for laying that groundwork. For
Absolutely.
being those that came before and really opening us up. I know you opened me up. Prior to connecting to my roots. I really didn't really have much knowledge of y'all's music. Until Jack put me on. Um, Before we got with the rap thing. So Jack put me on and really started listening to your music, man, and that in itself is inspiring. It's like, so thank y'all too, for your sacrifice, and even now y'all still doing it. You're still current, and y'all still are still pushing that. So thank you.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's interesting to like I said, see the next individuals that are coming up with the same message in their own way, right? Because
Sure.
your visuals, brothers, they're phenomenal. I thought that even the first video you put out, I'm sorry I don't know the names of your songs like right off the top of my head, but I know the
Yeah, no,
visuals.
no
Like
worries, no worries.
I
Oh,
know
wow.
the visuals, bro. I remember one time I was
Yeah,
Yes,
working with
sir.
another brother. He's like, "Yeah, bro, I've never heard any of your stuff," and I was like, "Oh, cool." But the song came out pretty good, right? It's like so.
yeah.
Sure.
But no, I'm very
And you know
familiar.
what, Jimmy?
Yeah,
If I can make a comment real quick and just say
absolutely.
too, that, same thing as Threat, bro. I admire the fact that you, Victory, and E-Rise, your guys' longevity, bro. Like y'all can put out a track right now or in 10 more years, and you'll still get the same love you did when you were just as coming in hard into the game as you guys were. Um, it's longevity and it's timeless music, bro. So I admire that, and I hope me and Threat can be that way you know, um, when we're with more years and more wisdom and shit. So
Well, you
for
did it.
sure,
I'll tell you right
salute.
now. I'll tell you right now, Jack. I'll tell you right now. You did it with Sangre Indígena. People are going to sing that hook for 20, 30, 40, 52 years, if not. Because that hook is very catchy. It hits the corazón. And man, if you can hit a brother like myself with the age that I have, 46, and really impact him and make him feel like, whoa, this is dope. Like oh man, I want to go write a song right now. I
Yeah,
think you're doing exactly what you just described. What my intention was when I made that. I mean, what our intention was, because I wasn't alone. It was me, Victor, and Eric, and I produced it. So
Yeah,
when we collectively planted that seed, we wanted kids. We pictured like kids hearing that music, but everybody we were singing to were older, right? They were like, 20s and
yeah,
even older than that. But now you're like 20 years down the road and you're like, because people don't know that we released Jaguar Prophecies in 2002, 18 years ago. So if people are barely getting
wow.
turned on to El Vu and they're barely
yeah,
hearing that album was 18 years ago. So I feel like, when you try to hit that timeless thing, you're doing it with that. You guys are doing it, and it's glad that you're just reassuring yourself by telling me, bro, I want to be like that. Well, I'm going to tell you right back as a mirror and as the generation that came before you, you're doing it and keep doing it because you're doing it dope.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that.
thank you for your words.
Absolutely, brothers. Absolutely. Hmm. Excuse me, man. My mouth gets dry while we're talking, but Yeah, man. I think people want to know, like why did you choose? I want to know, like, what was the pinnacle point about writing about identity and social issues?
Go ahead, threat.
I know for me it was yes. So for me it was I want to say sobriety brought me into you know into my identity. Having friends like Jag that they've been sober, they've been straight edge their whole life, and me, like we said, Jag, we were friends prior to this music. Before we even made a song together, we had a friendship. But through those years that we had a friendship, I was drinking alcohol, substance abuse, opioids, that type of thing. And so, and linking up with Jag, he would always just put wisdom in my ear, and he'll just put little seeds in my ear. He wouldn't really force anything, but he'd just give me some knowledge. And me being curious, I would always just ask him more and more. And in doing that, um, I was also working on myself and getting sober. Um, so I want to say one of the pinnacle points for me was I lost my father in 2016, and it just came to a point, man, when I was drinking alcohol and doing drugs, and it wasn't numbing that pain. You know what I mean? It wasn't doing it for me anymore. So kind of at that point, I had like just a a real I was just doing these drugs and it wasn't doing nothing for me. I was still very feeling everything, and kind of just told myself like, yo, either I'm gonna have to graduate to stronger drugs like heroin, or I'm gonna or something has to give. Something has to change, and so I kind of just started my road on a sobriety tip, and then having friends like Jag that really pushed me, because I always, Jag's a little younger than me, but even though he would, and seeing him and how he lived his life, how he was living, like it really inspired me, and yeah, man. So I want to say for me, it was just sobriety, and then like I said, and kicking it with more with Jag, because he was one of the few friends, because once I got sober, a lot of my friends kind of just we weren't really friends because we would always just drink and just smoke blunts and just do all that. And pretty soon I had no one really to kick it with because ain't nobody, like I'm not trying to be around that, but also they're not trying to really be around me either because I'm not doing that. And so I would just
That's a tough choice for somebody in that age group where you're like, there's something I felt that I needed to do to change my life, and the other people you love that are around you, or have a bond with, whatever you want to call it. I mean, are on a level of self destruction that they can't see, and you're seeing it, and you're going, look, come on, join me. There's a different alternative road, right? And it's kind of heartbreaking where you feel like, in a way that you care about these people, but there nothing you're gonna do is gonna change their mind because that's the self reflection that we have, right, as indigenous lineage, right? When you look into your own Tetzcalipoca, when you realize that my life is precious and infinite, I need to not do this. Oh man, it's almost heartbreaking to hear that your loved ones around you, the people you grew up with, didn't decide to take that road.
But luckily I had Jag, and I gravitated towards him. And like I said, he was just putting wisdom in my ear, and he was just like, "Yo, where's your family from? Like this is a nation there." And then on my own started doing my own research, and then just little by little, and then Jag at the time was the activist role, and so so I get involved with that, and then just more and more just things started opening up, and just started learning as I went along, and yeah, and then just and not only with sobriety, but just different thoughts. I started loving myself, and just for who I was,
Well, that's
and
that's
I
that's that
wasn't.
smoky mirror, brother. That's that smoky mirror, man.
Yes,
You finally hit your own reality, right? Which is
yep,
something you'll never know. You'll never figure that out, So That's an honor. Thank you for sharing that story with us, brother. That's gonna heal. How many people that are confused right now? How many people that feel are at a young age, like 13, where they're like, life sucks. You know, we're getting kicked out of our apartment. And blah blah blah. Because whatever situation we're in, we've always been kicked out of apartments. It's not new to people who are poor and oppressed. And that's been our people. So I mean, and I just want to say to you, Jag, thank you for inspiring a dope brother who has good lyrics and can make a difference. But what's your story, brother? What's your story?
And even with threats words, it's a reflection, homie. I would just say the same, that Hunaku, that it's reflection with him, because I've always been inspired by him and his the way he carried himself and shit. I mean, like I said, we were homies, and like involved in any kind of conflict, he always had my back and shit. So it goes both ways and in different ways. But for me, I was involved in like growing up. My pops was always he always kind of like put wisdom in my ear about like the injustices of this country and what it does to our homeland south of the colonial border. Even though this is our continent, this is our land, right? Before the republics of Canada and U.S. and Mexico existed, this is our land, all North and South America. My pops always put it in my ear that a lot of the reasons our people go through injustice in Mexico, in Central America, Guatemala, El Salvador, Nicaragua, the Caribbean, is because of U.S. foreign policies and things like that. Absolutely. So I always grew up with that understanding, and homies in my neighborhood always they thought I was like unpatriotic and stuff like that. But I was just kind of, I had a certain type of, I guess you could call it indoctrination at home, bro. Like my dad was just always like El Imperio Yankee, man. Like they do horrible things to our people, in our homeland. And, he used to always tell me, you're Mexican, bro. Like you're Mexican, you're not American. Even if you were born here, it doesn't matter. You're still Mexican, bro. Like when I used to compete in sports, I used to wrestle against white boys a lot, because I used to wrestle in high school, and that's a sport where a lot of gabachos dominate, right. Where they're very competitive in that sport. So my dad was always like, you gotta, before I went in the mat, he was always like, hey, bro, you gotta put it down for your people right now, because these fools see you as a wetback, homie, as just a Mexican. You're not they don't see you as one of them. So it kind of drove me it gave me pride. Some people might see that as like, oh, that's a negative way to do it. But for me, it just made me proud of who I am, and kind of like to represent my people, whether it was in MMA, wrestling. Like, all right, cool, I'm representing my people, my gente, So with that, growing up with just that upbringing, and then I gotta say it was when Trayvon Martin got killed, I was kind of opened up into like a lot of like the injustice, kind of like just like reminded of it, because I always knew it existed. I listened to NWA growing up. I was always like on some like and they're not from my generation in any way, but my dad always just put me up on game, like La Razón porque nosotros y los africanos, like we're in shackles here in this country, as opposed to those who in the dominant society. He always just put me on game, and hip hop, rap, whether it was the most, I guess, negative kind of rap, I always saw the good in it. I always just took the messages of like, fuck the establishment out of it. I didn't really like pay attention to the self-destruction some of it glorified. I was more focused on like flipping off the establishment. That's what I gained out of the craziest rhymers.
Kind of like the Pancho Villas of rap, just like I'm not down for your laws or anything. I'll be an outlaw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. And so with that, and being put up on game, my brother listened to Immortal Technique when we're back in MySpace. I remember Immortal Technique had a Peruvian Indio Orgulloso on his bio, and I was like, what the fuck, like, like, what does that mean? Like, why did he say Indio, but he looks like me, like, right. But then I was like, oh shit, I'm an Indio too, like, shit like that. And listening to like him, like Diabolic, the whole Rebel Arms crew, Chino XL, CF, all them brothers, man, like, it just really, it made me want to put a pen to paper down and, I was involved in like cultural empowerment with my Guerrilla Republic hip hop family too, man. Like, shout out to my brother Is the Truth. He's from Tawantinsuyu.
Nice.
Those are my people, man. And like, I was involved in hip hop, more like on the promoting the Guerrilla Republic, the independent artists. So those are our people right there, man. And I was just like, man, I got to record something. Like I feel I got to share. I have something I want to share with the world. I'm indigenous. I'm original. I'm First Nations. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to put this message out. And I was rapping for about a year before I linked up with Threat and we formed Cosmic Force. I think I did like 50 shows of performances live before I linked up with Threat.
That's dope. That's a dope story, brother.
And that's what made me take it seriously, bro. Doing live performances,
Yeah. Well, live performances are exhilarating. I remember when I played in Mexico City and at the Zócalo in front of like 10,000 people, and it was like, it's exhilarating. So the fact that you feel that, but it's crazy how like art isn't just, that's just one component of art, right? The live show is one component of art. Actually getting the depth and doing the research and formulating a thought and putting it into a melody. I mean, all that stuff is really hard. And so you guys have been doing a great job with that, picking the right beats. The hooks are solid. And in my opinion, the message is clear. So it's cool, man, that you grew up with a dad that had that influence. I myself have 4 boys, and I try to put all of my influence into their little hearts, and doing it in a way that's in a good way with the fire and the water and the ceremonies leading the way. So, I mean, that's kind of cool.
Sure.
when see how it evolves. Like, you got your dad being aware of a system that hurts him, teaching his son to be aware of a system that hurts him. That's how we get out of this mess. If we do not
Definitely
teach our youth in whatever way we can, whether he's 3 months old or 27 years old or 45 years old or 100 years old, I don't really care. You really don't stop learning. The best teaching in life is to never stop learning. You always evolve with your experiences and your heartaches and your ups and downs and stuff like that. So I admire individuals that have fathers that had to maybe walk a desert to get into this so-called border, right? I admire those souls because those souls carry so much. I mean, I know my father had to cross that way, and the pain that comes along as you get birthed into this earth, knowing that your father had to walk maybe 50 miles in a desert just to make one dream come true, right? The dream of freedom, to only be oppressed by other things like poverty and police abuse, you name it, so that's good that you guys sing about those things. Those things are important to our people. And like I said, artists evolve, right? You won't be singing in 10 years about, if you continue to do your art, and I think you should, as you know, right? You said, because I know for sure that my music right now as a Zero, as solo artist, because El Vuh decided to not do music anymore in a good way, I know it doesn't sound the same as what I put out in 2002, which is Jaguar Prophecies, right? It has its own phases, its own evolution.
has its own flavor for sure.
Yeah. So I'm excited to hear some new stuff that you guys, because I know you guys write like 1 billion songs a year. You know what I mean? It's like I'm very critical when I write. It's like I kind of zone in, and people would be surprised on how long I take to write a jam, or write a song. It takes me a long time because I feel like everything.
They're jams, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like my expression has to be a piece of art. So as I'm pulling the ether right out of where it's at, which is unseen, I'm putting these words together to convey a feeling that I'm feeling deep in my heart, and it's exposing itself as I'm writing it down, right? So that to me takes time. It is not something quick, But there are brothers in there that could go and beat after beat after beat, and they got 5 songs coming out of the studio. It's like, wow.
Right.
I admire those brothers, So I'm sure
Zero,
you guys.
can I make a comment real quick?
Absolutely.
So, when I picture you, bro, writing your 16-bar verse, this is how I imagine it. Like, serio, as a person who studies Mesoamerican, pre-Hispanic culture myself, I imagine you with a couple codices open.
Absolutely.
You got the medicine burning. You got a couple history books open, and you're just fact checking shit, and not just from the books, but from the ceremony as well, right? Like in your own knowledge, your own inspirations. And I'm like, and I gotta imagine it like you're probably in nature somewhere, bro. That's how I feel like the average listener to your gems is probably feeling like, man, like this person they're in that zone right there. You feel me?
I am in that space, and it's hard to be in that space when you have a family, right? You have a family, and yeah, some of the best work I did has been in those settings, right? And this goes along the lines of like native resistance, right? Try to catch the theme of what I'm trying to say right here, and in a metaphor of writing this. You said you picture me in nature, and I'm writing this verse, and yeah, I've done things like that. But when you're a father of 4 and you have family and you can't leave to those type of journeys by yourself, I go inside my heart and I remember those places. And yeah, I do write there, but I write there in my mind because I don't let anything stop me from being in that space, right? That space exists and it'll always exist.
That's power.
Because it's the most powerful thing that you're connected to, brother. You, Threat, all of us who are taking pen to pad to inspire individuals to go out for a walk in nature. Because if you're seeing if you're seeing me write these verses in nature, then I'm doing my job. I'm connecting you to the source that connected me, right? Which is everything around me.
For sure.
So, I mean, I admire, thank you for that compliment, brothers. Like, I mean, I'm humbled. I'm humbled because I know you guys put a very lot of heart. You guys put so much heart into your music that I know one day, you're going to be holding your podcast and you're going to be doing what I'm doing for the next generations that came before me, because enough's enough, man. In our time, we grew up in a time where being cool was the outcome, right? And that to me is like far gone from my mind. Right now, it's about experience and meeting people and meeting good people and good people who are talented enough to carry on this next message, right? And that message of healing ourselves, right? In whatever capacity you can. This show is about healing yourself. This show is about learning and not judging, because we are infants. When a lot of people think when the Spaniards came and they colonized us, that they took all the older people and that the older people submitted to that. Hell no. Our warriors rather die than go to that. So they took our children and they raised those children. And they raised those children in colonized, abusive ways. So here we are now in 2020. Threat, Jag, Zero, still talking about something they tried to beat out of children, right? So consider yourself strong warriors, my friends. You guys are warriors. We are one tribe. We're finding each other and going, the fire's over here, brother. Come over here, sit down. Please sit with me. Here's some medicine. Here's some water. Here's some whatever you need. This is the type of show I want to make, brother. This is the type of community I want to bring together. Because the truth is, I know our parents cling to Mexican. And here's where the controversy, and I want to get your guys' opinion on this, but I think Mexican is the first Latino. You understand what I'm saying? Using the word Mexican is kind of like using the first Latino, because we have our own origin. We have indigenous. Can't we come up with that name? Does someone else have to come up with that name? Does a Spaniard have to say, you're a Mexican now? Right? But it's so long since we connected to our indigenous roots that we don't even feel connected to that. Right? So we settle for the second best. Right? So in 100 years from now, are we going to connect to Latino? No, I'm still, you know what I mean? It's gonna still be kind of the same way. Instead of saying, I'm native. I may not know where my tribe's from, but I know I'm native. I'm not any word you invented. I'm not any word you invented. I'm not any of those words. So I don't mean to offend anybody, because I know people cling to that, right? But we're here to shake. We're here to shake the earth. We're here to shake the earth.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Hey, say it, bro. Say it.
We have that power, right? We have that. We have that power, right? We have the power to shake the earth. You have the power to shake the earth. And you shake the
For
earth
sure.
by connecting to it. And the fact is, we're native. We're nothing. If you
Yeah.
invented the word, we're not that.
Yeah.
That's the what I.
Right.
That's
Right.
the way I feel,
100%. Bro.
right? So, yeah, man. How we doing on time, Armando? We good? Yeah. Oh shoot. Let me check the meter, guys. Hold on. Oh, we're still good. We still got a lot of time to go. So, yeah, brother.
Oh
So,
yeah.
I mean, the conversation's amazing, brother. I think that, it's time to really focus in on that. So tell me, are you guys ceremonial? Do you guys go to ceremony?
Right. Go ahead.
Yeah. So as for me, I want to say on my road, I just actually got into that, into actually going into ceremony. Um, and yeah, so I've
Well, welcome
actually, even
home.
though
Welcome
yeah,
home.
yeah,
Welcome
exactly.
home. That's
Yeah,
what
so
ceremony is. Welcome home.
I want to say, you know, I, I've been on this road since, I want to say 2016, and barely now, doing the ceremony, but I don't mind because it took time, and that was a development, that was a progression. I feel everybody's progression is just different. Some people need more time, some people need less time. So it just came around, and I found the community and people that I really connect with, and yeah, man, it's playing out. And so yes, I am. I do. I know right now it's kind of it's a little hard, because of the restrictions and everything. Uh, for being out there in public and stuff, but yeah, ceremony is definitely something that I participate in, and and plan to participate in, for my lifetime.
Wow, that's cool, bro. So you're new to it. That's good. It's like, you'll be amazed on like how, even if you're new, how much you grow inside. When you really connect with what that is. Because we're very colonized and very deeply, deeply, and part of our soul, Christianized, and
Yeah,
and
For
put a
sure.
lot of fear into our heart. So when we come to the ceremony, we're panicked, and we don't know how to accept it. Is this truth? Am I being blah 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 and this and that? And then when you open it up and you go, yeah, the ceremony was hard, but man, I felt so much love there.
yeah,
That's the
and
challenge. It's a
just
duality, right? A duality, the
yeah,
suffering and the outcome.
mhm,
You know what I mean? The
and
suffering is like, yeah, it's something that I need to endure because suffering is what we do to our own self, right? Sometimes.
mhm.
Definitely.
And then just to add on, but one of my first ceremonies is like very, very, like you said, you're scared at first, you're new to it, and not only for me, because we're out in the in the natural living world, we're out in nature, camping out there amongst amongst the natural world, and I'm from the city, I'm from the radio, and I'm used to being in the concrete, and not gonna lie, I was very, very uncomfortable, very uncomfortable. But my partner, she's been doing ceremony. She's been about it for a while, longer than I have. Shit. Um, but and seeing that I was very uncomfortable. I was just like, oh man. But after ceremony, after that was ceremony, I felt so comfortable in being in the living world, in the natural living world, and this to the point where I could feel the insects. I could feel them. I felt connected to the little ants roaming around, to the animals that were around us, and it was just very like, whoa, it really hit me. And but yeah, it took me out of my comfort zone because I was just so, that the colonization and just that indoctrination of being in the city life, being in the city in this concrete jungle that most of us that as detribalized natives, displaced natives, we end up being. And but yeah, that uncomfortability and fear was there, but once you know what, I need to do this. This is not something that I need. And but when I came out of it, I just felt more connected, and it just it really just motivated me because I was like, man, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of this walk of this of my road. And yeah, but yeah, that fear was there though, but I had to conquer that and face it head on, and that's what it was.
Oh, for sure, brother. I mean,
Oh,
oh, for sure. What about you, Jack? What's your ceremony story?
so so my ceremony story. I think the first time. So I think the last time I was in ceremony was for the winter solstice. We had a ceremony in the Yuhaviatam territory, the city of San Bernardino in the hood. Um, it was actually very. That was the last time I actually been to ceremony with community,
Hmm.
and um, I missed that a lot. You know what I'm saying? I missed that. Been to lodges. Different kinds: Turtle Lodge, uh, Star Lodge. Um, and like more than a few danza ceremonies, of course. I'm not a dansante, but just being there, soaking in that. Um, I love it. I love it. I feel home every time. Um, I guess the accessibility to it. Sometimes it's you know unless invited, then you know what, it's kind of, I guess it's kind of hard for me to get around to them. Haven't been too social lately, but yeah, man. I mean, man, the lodge in Long Beach, where I've been in it, man, I've never been humbled, never been more humbled. If I could say this to the audience, whoever's listening, whether I'm gonna share this when this podcast drops, Zero, when you drop it up. I know we're live, but when we drop it, I guess for the audience to replay it,
Absolutely.
I got peoples in so-called Australia, First Nations in Canada, everywhere, bro, all over Europe. You got supporters, man. So to
Oh,
anybody who's listening around the globe, just know that for me as a person who's been stripped from my indigenous identity and my tribal ways and philosophies and worldviews, coming back into that ceremony life, it really humbled me to who I am and who my people are and were. Like this is how we live, and this is how we were so, um, living in harmony with Earth Mother, um, long before the white man came. And it really puts me back in time, but also reminds me that we still have a future. You know what I'm saying? Like, as much as we had a glorious past, we have a future that we need to fight for. And it just humbles me, bro. Like, when that door opens and that air comes in, or the lodge, I'm like, God damn, like, I really needed this air. I can't exist without it.
yeah.
I need this water. When that water splashes on my face, I remember the first time I did lodge, you know, um, you know, what happens there, I'll just leave it, like it's sacred, so I'll just say that. But I learned to appreciate all four elements. That's what I took from it. All four elements, because our life and death doesn't exist without it. Um, but that's what I could say, man, to those who are listening. But
Absolutely. You guys
uh,
gave the best advice for anybody thinking about it, searching for it, and so on and so forth. Because everything you said happened to me, and I didn't even share the story, right? Like how impossible. But as you meditate and as you grow into this threat, you're only 4 years deep, and that you're not 4 years deep, brother. How old are you?
I'm late 20s.
Late 20s. So late. You've been walking this earth since the moment you took your first breath, bro. You started your ceremony. Someone just put you in the right path, right? Like
Yeah.
they did a little chiropractic, like, hey, brother, you're walking on the right side when you should be walking on the left side. And
Yeah.
that's all that is. You know what I mean? There's no hierarchy to it. There's no elitism to it. There may be some people boasting, but those are the people that you go, oh, they're still struggling on their own way, in their own
right,
way, right? You
Yeah.
don't
right,
judge your
struggling,
brother.
definitely,
You don't judge your brother. You shouldn't judge your brother. We shouldn't judge anybody. We should go. That brother needs
for
more
sure.
love, more. You know what? I want to stay in longer for him because he's hurt right now. You know, and that's the way we should see
Yeah,
our people. And
zero.
ceremony is the most important thing. That's the next transition you take, right? When you take into ceremony, because let me explain about ceremony, if you allow me to, real quickly. Ceremony is
Go ahead.
self-imposed trauma to bring back memory. But people automatically think that that memory is in the mind. But the mind isn't what's being remembering. That's not what's remembering. It's the blood cells that live in your blood, the chills. When you see your beautiful wife, the one you're going to spend a lot of time with, and it gives you that sensation inside that's not your mind, that's your blood. So when you go into ceremony and you struggle and you suffer a little bit, that blood gets awakened.
Right.
That blood gets awakened, and guess what? It doesn't go back to sleep. It stays there. No matter how long, you can stop going to ceremony for 20,000 years, but one day
Right.
you'll find yourself sitting right in front of that fire, drinking that water,
Right.
sitting on top of that earth and feeling that wind. Just like Jag said, he got an appreciation for all four elements because he is all four elements. We are our full elements. That's what we're trying to say, white man.
Yeah, definitely.
You're
Zero,
lagging.
if I could make a comment.
Absolutely.
When I remember an elder here in San Bernardino, right here in the Yuhavitam area, he's Mexica, and also from the coast of Sinaloa. I remember he mentioned it's something that just resonated and stayed with me forever about danza azteca or danza mexica, chichimeca ceremonies, and you know he always mentioned that it's color therapy. Color therapy, seeing all the feathers, all the plumas, the regalia, the atuendos, the trajes, right? And that stayed with me, bro. The color therapy, because I feel so good when I see, my people that I grew up with, or people that I'm involved in, fighting for social justice or change against, a messed up system, and like seeing them dance, bro, and seeing people that I know that are involved in that and that found their red road or found their native identity through that specific way of praying. To me, it really it makes me feel great. And like the elder said, man, like the color therapy, of seeing, the spins and the spirals and all the footwork and intention. So I really and highly appreciate danza. What we know, I guess, as danza here in the Southwest, and south of the border, you know. So my salute to anybody who takes that route of being a danzante, because I know it's a commitment too.
It's definitely another world. Danza is totally a different realm. It's not the sweat lodge, or it's not, these other things that happen. And that's the beauty of what we're talking about here. It's not just one ceremony. It's not just one church.
Right.
It's not just one religion. It's not that. It's a diverse culture that they can never conquer. Let me repeat that again. It's a diverse culture that they will never conquer because we continue
Right.
to come up. We continue to express ourselves. They can lock us in a white
Right.
room and we'll walk out of that white room still looking at those colors, just like Jag said. It's a memory that lasts forever and ever. It's infinite. It's infinite. Our love is seated in infinite love. Think about that.
For sure.
Our great, great, great abuelos who built pyramids, and not only pyramids, but struggled in the wild on their own before they got to that level,
Right.
did everything for their children and the love that the community brought together, right? That community is what I'm talking about in this show. That community is my dream. Just to reawaken the individuals across this continent to understand that indigenous means family, whether you're from Canada or Chile. Family. That's what indigenous means. Indigenous people, indigenous community, forever and ever and ever. And you guys' message, man, your message is all about that. So that's why I thought, man, the first person I have to have on my show is Cosmic Force. So here we are.
Yeah, man. Definitely appreciate you, bro. Yeah.
Always, brother. Always. So I want to talk too before I let you guys go. I know Jag, bro. I'm inspired by you. For all of the listeners that are out there, brother walks a real straight and sturdy red road. Let me boast on you, bro. This is a fan looking in, right? But the the brother walks a sober road, and that's a difficult road in this time. And I want him to talk about that. I want him to talk about why he makes that decision and how honorable it is. Because honestly, I don't walk that road. I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't. So I'm not, because I'm not nobody's hero. I'm just a person that really, loves his people, and that's it. So
Right.
please don't judge me for anything, but I really admire the fact that you have that kind of discipline. So talk about it.
I appreciate that. So, like you said, brother, I'm not nobody, either. And, I'm a work in progress too. Um, so my sobriety is my strongest weapon. It's kind of like, it's one of my main things that I'm committing, and I call my sobriety a lifelong ceremony. And I do mention that in one of our songs, Cosmic Force, called Every Direction. I say sobriety is a lifelong ceremony, and I do mean that. Like, it's just something I've committed to, and something of growing up, bro. My dad was a soccer coach, and in the neighborhood where I live, there was a lot of alcohol abuse, drug abuse, a lot of criminality going on, because of people, our gente struggling, bro. And I remember after one of his soccer players got killed in a gang rivalry, he wrote on one of our ice chests for soccer, because he had an ice chest and he used to like take it to the field where we practice. And he wrote on there, no drugs, no alcohol, no gangs. And he wrote it with a Sharpie, like it was I'll never forget that ice chest. It was a red ice chest. And he just wanted all of us on the team to like just know, like, that's not stuff we want to mess with. We don't want to be involved in gangs. We don't want to be involved with alcohol. We don't want to be involved with drugs. And, I know that there is that stereotype out there that, Mexicanos or our people, indigenous people, are just a bunch of drunks and shit like that, or alcoholics. But to be fair, my dad actually didn't drink when I was growing up. I never saw him drink one fucking sip of alcohol, excuse my language. I don't think I ever saw him take one sip of alcohol. He drinks now, but he always said, look, bro, I'm not going to drink until you guys are older, until you guys grow up, because I don't want to see you guys drink and then me hate on you guys, and then you guys are just say, well, you did it, right? So that was his take. That was his parenting stilo.
I really like your dad. He has strategies. I like him. He's cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah, and that's how he did it. But so I honestly, bro, to be 1,000% with you, Zero, and to everyone who's listening right now, for me it was just like I just took it to heart when he wrote that. I was like, all right, cool. I ain't gonna drink. I ain't gonna smoke. I'm not gonna do that, right? Mm-hmm. And that was his. That was just like that little what he wrote on the ice chest. And as I got older, I remember I'll never forget the first time I got like, the homies try to like, smoke me out and shit, right? We were in an alley chilling, and we were spray painting in an alley, right? I always had an appreciation for graffiti. Mm-hmm. And I always liked graffiti. I love, where I grew up around, there's a lot of taggers and shit like that. So, much love to the people who get down with the can, the marker, the black books, the trains, all that. Salute, that's hip hop, and that's art. So,
well, one of your first videos was at a train yard, right?
That's right. Yeah, it was at a train yard. Yeah.
Dude,
that was my first music video.
Dude, that video was dope. That fucking video. I was like, who's that dude? Like, fucking came out of nowhere. Yeah. It was a dope video, bro.
Yeah,
big ups for that one.
Appreciate that.
What's the name of that video? Tell the listeners.
Fuerza Guerrera. The video is it's on privacy. It's on private now for privacy, for just, I guess, specific reasons. I only rap with a mask on, so unfortunately all the music videos we had without my mask, we have them on private. They can find the song. It's called Fuerza Guerrera.
There you go. That song is dope. That song is dope. The video is dope. Too bad you didn't wear a mask, because that fucking song is dope, and that video is dope.
Yeah. All good. Yeah, man. So to be get to the point and cut this short. When I was in middle school, I remember hearing about the term straight edge, and I kind of started repping that. I started repping that a little bit in high school and shit. Straight edge, I know it comes from the punk scene, and much love to my punk rockers. And I know a lot of natives, a lot of indigenous people out here, especially, man. there's a lot of punks out here, and then they get down, you know, they're anti-establishment, all that, and they mix it with the indigenous empowerment. So I'm all for that. I don't listen to punk. I've never heard punk. I'm not familiar with the genre, but I respect it. But I did gravitate towards just that idea of straight edge, meaning, you know, drug-free, alcohol-free, all that. You know, I remember they had a poison-free, all that. So it was just, I'm like, cool, I'm in. I ain't never backing down. That's how I'm going to be for the rest of my life. And I'm okay with, for me, it's easy kicking it with people who do drink or smoke or things like that, because I haven't done it. So I'm not curious to try it. Maybe when I was younger, it's kind of more challenging for me to kick it because I'm tempted. But now I'm not tempted, bro. It's like, I'm an adult. I made up my mind and shit. Like, I'm not gonna. I remember the homie used to say like, "Hey, bro, smoke this blunt for me, bro. Do." And I'd be like, "Nah, I'm good." He'd be like, "Do it for your mom, bro." I'm like, "Fool, my mom don't want me to do it, you know." Yeah, man, that's it, you know. That's how I made up my mind.
It's funny, dude. Like everybody has their own road with whatever they choose to, you know, relax with or feel connected, whatever it is, you know. A lot of it's nostalgia, right? You know, people drink because they saw their dad drink. You know, like kind of like your pop strategy, right? Like, I'm not gonna let you see me drink until you're older, so that way you can't say anything. But for me, it's like people connect with certain things, and I was exactly like you, Jag, because I mean, for like 15 years of my life, I just went cold turkey, just like boom. The next day, I just said nothing, and I lived a long time that way. And then you know, obviously, I go back to nostalgia, and I go, wow, man, I remember those times when me and my homie would just talk. We'd smoke a joint and talk about things that we wanted to change in society. And I miss that. I miss that feeling. I miss that moment. And so I don't smoke cannabis to live in that moment forever, but it kind of just gives me that little part in my life that just reminds me, like, man, this is the moments that inspired many other moments, right? And obviously, as an adult, you have to be in control of everything you do, because as a warrior, you have to be in control of everything you do. But when I found out that Pancho Villa was a big time, you know, smoker, I was like, damn, I want to be like that. You know, I want to be the greatest outlaw rolling a J. You know what I mean? And you know, try to stop me, you know, and having fun with life. And knowing that is, but I do admire the generals of this movement, you know. And Jag, it takes a lot of discipline to do that, and I want to honor that, and I don't want to, you know, think that, you know, judge it or any of that stuff, you know. But I just wanted people, the listeners out there, whoever wants to listen to this show, to know that there's different perspectives and there's a community, right? When you go to dinner with when you go to your dinner with your family, not everybody is the same. They don't drink the same drink and eat the same food and do this. You have a Theo
They don't talk the same.
exactly. Everybody has their own little thing, and that's the beauty of it. And you know, when you come to my house, Jag, I know not to offer you nothing. Just water and health food, and that's good because I like water and health food. You know, so
and you know what, bro? Even I have an older brother, man, and like me and him, the way I only have one sibling, and the way we communicate is different. I incorporate a lot of, like, I guess what people would call like Chicano slang into my vernacular, and he doesn't, because he just the people he surrounded himself with, you know, they used to skate, and you know, they just speak a little bit different than the way I do. But you know, that's my brother, that's my blood. We're still you know, that's who we are, man. Like, we're not all the same, you know. So I say, sobriety works for me. Sobriety works for me. To me, it's sacred, you know, and it empowers me. So that's my message to my audience. And
well, you know what I'm saying. You know what I like about that stance? I like about that stance because you never really went through oneself, right? Like, it sounds like you didn't go through a period of life where you drank too much and you said, I can't drink no more after this destruction, which is really cool because in my perception, in my perspective, you're inspiring individuals who maybe live on the res, who know nothing but alcoholism, and says, I will never touch a drop of that, and I'm going to be sober all my life. Because of the trauma that it caused, right? Or one person who said, man, I used to drink till I didn't remember anything, and then That's their own self trauma,
Yeah.
and they go, I don't want to drink ever again. So it's interesting to know that you never went through that type of abuse of yourself, and that's a sacred thing, and that's probably why you have a sacred message, brother. So I mean, I big ups to you and your story and all that stuff too, and you too, Threat, man. Like, this has been a great conversation, you know, and leading our gente, and just leaving those breadcrumbs, right, so they could find that road. What road that is, I don't know. I don't know what that road is. They have to know what that road is. You know, there comes a time in your life where you got to know what your road is. No one else is going to tell you. No one's going to whisper in your ear or give you a plain thing. And man, you're lucky if you have somebody in your life, somebody that just really loves you enough to remind you of that. You know, and I have a very special person in my life that does that on a daily basis. So as indigenous communities, man, we got to remember that the main focus here is to remember that we are a community all across the nation, all across Turtle Island, all across the globe, right? All across the globe. You'll feel our love all
Yeah.
across the globe, wherever we walk. If you land in Australia and you put a foot down, Threat and Jag and myself, they know that there's a love there, a love that came from an ancient fire, that fire that our abuelos took
Yeah,
care of
definitely.
for a long time. So
And we're connected to a global struggle, right?
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I look at it as awareness, you know, and awareness and how do you deal with these things, you know, because everybody's going to impose. If you let a bully tell you what to do all the time, and all you known in your life was a bully, then he's going to continue to do that until you are aware of it. Now, you could break his leg, and that might cause a reaction from him to come aggressively, or you could be aware, right? You could be aware and know that you can be invisible right in front of their face and be healthy, strong, wise, and take care of your own family. Because I think really that's the movement. The movement is take care of your own family in whatever capacity, whether it's health food, changing diet, spirituality, ceremony, anything of that regard, that responsibility lies solely on your shoulders if you have a family. And if
Definitely.
you don't have a family, that responsibility comes upon your own life. So don't abuse it. Don't abuse it. Respect it. Know that every person alive on this continent was brought here to make change. A change that wasn't going to happen overnight. It was going to take hundreds of years. But I know if I plant the seed of love now, 7 generations from now, my great grandson will remember me and my intention. And your great grandfathers, your great grandsons, and your familia. Bro, it's been great talking to you guys. And I think, you know, the people had enough. You know, I'm going to play a couple more songs before I get off, but I definitely want to let you guys go and thank you guys for being a part of my show and saying and sharing your life with us and reminding that we're
Yep.
one community, one heart, one mind, one voice, one struggle, just like Jag said. The struggle of humanity. And these are two great warriors in that struggle. Native Threat. And,
Appreciate it, bro.
what's the new name, Jag?
It's Jag Arreola in my last name.
Jag Arreola. Two dope hip hop artists. Kozmic Force. Keep the music going, brothers. Keep it going.
Zero, if I
Yo,
can
yo.
say something, bro,
Absolutely.
whenever you want to have us on again, we're more than happy to, be here and support you and talk again on your podcast.
Absolutely. Well, dude, this is just the intro, bro. This is like my first show, and I think I hit like a major Grand Slam home run with our conversation, man. I think it was interesting, and I think the youth are really going to tie into it. And whoever we reach, bro, whoever it is that we get to reach. But hey, bro, I hope that invitation isn't just for my podcast, bro, because I still got a lot of bars in me. I still got a lot of music in me. I still got a lot of production in me. So we're gonna get back and we're gonna get into the studio, and we're gonna take 2021 to the place where it needs to go, because they don't have no rights anymore like that. You know, if we really follow our abuelos' roads and believe in our abuelos' words, then they don't have no more rights on us. They're gone. They're done. In my opinion, if we
Let's do it, bro.
if we implement our mission and hold our intention. And when we burn sage and we ask those spirits to come and help us, and we really believe in it, then how can we fail? Right?
Right.
Sitting Bull didn't fail.
Let's do it, brother.
Sitting Bull did
Can't
not
wait.
fail.
I can't wait to get on the track with you, bro. I know me and Threat want to rock a joint with you, you know?
Absolutely. That's like given, and it'll be premiered here on LA Natives, you know.
Yes.
And so yeah, man, thanks a lot, brothers. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience, and let's keep it moving, right? Tiawi, as our ancestors say.
Stay safe. Yeah, wait. Stay safe, brother. Peace.
Oh, umeteo.
Oh, peace.
So that was Cosmic Force there, my brothers, on the podcast. Hey, should we play their video real quick? Let's do that. Can you pull up Sangre Indígena? I think it's called Sangre Indígena. So we're going to play Sangre Indígena for you guys because those brothers spent a lot of time with us and they had really good topics, and I really appreciate their time. So I want to expose their music as best as we can. And remember that we will be going live every Sunday, once a week, LA Natives, twitch.tv/LA Natives. We're here to stay, my brothers. We're not going nowhere. Oh, wait. And don't think you're getting away with not coming up here, JB, because you're going to come up here and you're going to say goodbye to these people because we are one familia, right? So, but right now we're going to play Cosmic Force, right? Sangre Indígena. Sangre Indígena from Cosmic Force.
So, check. So, there's no song titled that.
Oh, shit.
Lo Nuestro Nunca Muere?
Oh, wait. I think it's...
The Beginning or Another Day?
I think it might be this song. If it's not that one, dude, I'm sorry, dude. I just don't know the names of your songs right off the top of my head. But I do know your music.
Drastically. I wouldn't be here right now. I would be locked up. I would be running wild, going crazy. Totally humbled me. Retaught me the basics of respect, kindness, humility, prayer, my spirit. Taught me that I have a spirit. And it's not all about greed and money, you know. It's just about coexisting with everybody on this planet, finding your own peace, form of prayer, way of honoring the elements of the earth, living simple, stress-free. We create a lot of stress that we don't need. Native ways teach me to be normal, chill.
Trying to live my life, not the way God intended, but the way my ancestors planted seeds and tended. Ain't trying to spit impressive, I don't do it for incentives. I do it for my family, I do it for my primos, I do it for my aunties, I do it for my tíos, abuelitos, pueblo unido. For my masawali and the campesinos, Filipinos, sacrificing for survival, feeding ungrateful Americans, spiteful, talking about shit that came here legally, like them pilgrims that raid, pillage frequently. Check it, G, never get the hood out of me. Popping in my sector, heart pump blood of nomadic chichimecas. I ain't ignorant to the fact we need more than love, sacrifice and fight. We just trying to get by, smudging down with the smoke of cedar. Offer flesh to our mother, just a sliver. Singing songs to the river, iridescent duck feather. Burning medicinal with the love of my life on the Donati light. I connecting with the land where I stand, rattle in hand with my band, grateful for the day. I heard the wind say, live on another day, live on another day. Connecting with the land where I stand, rattle in hand with my band, grateful for the day. I heard the wind say, live on another day, live on another day.
Guardianos de altar, gente en este que jaguar. Somos hijos del volcán con tambores del alma. Los ataco con garra. I'm boots on the ground. Today, mañana y el día que sigue, you will be missed. Dear Vanessa Guillen, aretes are beaded, long hair is braided. Half my head is shaven, can't straighten what's fluid. The two spirits sacred like Muisca ruins. Jaguar, I beat the case I wasn't supposed to win. When you pick fake sobriety. You chose to win from the side of the city where civilians speak Spanish. Not my language, but the lengua of Princess Isabella, an architect of genocide like Juniper Serra. She sponsored decimation of our pre-Hispanic nations. I'm a pre-Hispanic native, and I swear to defend the feathers that adorn my head.
Connected with the land where I stand, rattle in hand with my band, grateful for the day. I heard the wind say, live on another day, live on another day. Connecting with the land where I stand, rattle in hand with my band, grateful for the day. I heard the wind say, live on another day, live on another day.
Esos palos y pasizajes en el lago Iguaque y los borriquines que viven en la tierra Lenape, lágrimas que caen adentro de el serape. Yo recuerdo de los mangos y también aguacates, huiscahuecha cuando entro al combate, de la luna enamorado mientras hablo copachue, blowing different in the trees. Maybe I could find a hibernation in this station. This a new sensation vibing on degrees. Maybe I could find a different world continuous when I've been flowing high across the 7 seas. Maybe you could feel the way you feel, but I could love you anyway, and even if you disagree. Maybe if you realizing everything we live in, like living so different in the trees. Once you realize that all connections that are spiritual and written only maybe in the leaves. This is where the motherfucking mangoes grow. He taught me if you really flow it, if you disbelieve. But all I know is life is really different. Even when you pass this earth, you ain't gonna never ever leave. Exists in every particle, in every article, regardless written in the spitting that I breathe. Love, love, love.
Connected with the land where I stand, rattle in hand with my band, grateful for the day. I heard the wind say, live on another day, live on another day. Connected with the land where I stand, rattle in hand with my band, grateful for the day. I heard the wind say, live on another day, live on another day.
Dope track. I know that wasn't the track I was looking for because I don't know the names of them. But anyways, that's not a bad thing to say. It's just that I'm not really hip like that. So, anyways, that was a dope track. I know it was Native Threat. I know it was Jag was in it, and Ozomatli. Ozomatli is, dude. You know how Ozomatli writes his lyrics? If you don't mind me talking to you for a second.
Yeah, go ahead.
He doesn't. He just goes in there and he's like, dude, I just spit that off the top of my dome. But I thought, it wasn't like, how sometimes people say that, but they actually wrote it. This dude actually does it like that, because it's very sloppy.
And it was produced by Acosta the Man. Dope beat right there.
He's dope. He's the dopest producer. Absolutely. So yeah, this is LA Natives, hosted by Zero El Vuh. We just had Cosmic Force come on, drop a little knowledge. And, I just wanted to introduce myself, keep introducing myself. Then you guys know that this will happen every Sunday, 4 p.m.-ish. We'll try to be on time as best as we can. But thank you, everyone who spent the time. Please follow our Twitch at LA Natives. Please follow that. Get the updates. We're going to start an Instagram page probably tonight. Follow that. Follow Zero El Vuh. Follow ugblog.com. And let's make history. Let's bring this continent together with music, right? We still got a lot of music that we need to share. And, the format's kind of loose, but I like the way it's going. And I have a brother that's helping me out here. So, I just want to thank everyone for listening to our conversation with Cosmic Force. And I want to get into another track that I picked out for you guys. So first, I want to play Don Juan Matis, which is one of my releases. So, shameless plug, but here you go. And let's roll into that one, yeah? Get a little more idea of who I am and what I am.
Anything is one of a million paths. Un camino entre cantidades de caminos. Therefore, you must always keep in mind that a path is only a path. To have such clarity, you must lead a disciplined life. Only then will you know that any path is only a path.
I'm a warrior from the future, looking at the past, living each moment through life's hourglass. I hold on to nothing, but enjoy everything. I spiral in and out of the Milky Way sacred ring. I carry the blood of my Tata Pancho Villa, y con mi corazón, sueño noche y día. I fly with the eagles and roam with buffaloes. I ride the winds of time, shoot thunderbolt arrows, aim them at your heart with a masterpiece of art. Look into your mirror, that's where it all starts. The pain of generations is deep within my soul. I burn my white sage in my abalone bowl, and I bless myself, send my prayer to the sky. I never ask why, I never complain. The way of a warrior is to always stay sane. Do away with fear so your mind stays clear. Then you deal with power, but treat her like a flower. Her poison will devour and eat up all your soul. 6 feet deep, buried in a hole. Your ego got you high and you lost control. And if you don't die from your own greed, that's when age and time starts to feed. No one can escape man's true fate. No one has the power to tell death to wait.
Both paths lead nowhere. But one has a heart, the other doesn't. One makes for a joyful journey as long as you follow it. You're one with it. The other will make you curse your life. One makes you strong, the other weakens you.
But this is what's great about this, because this is one of many that you're going to be doing, and it's going to be archived, you know, and like how Kozmic Force says, like people are going to chime in.
Check. Okay, sorry. Anyways, yes, we're back. Here we go. Back to what we're talking about. LA natives, please join us on our page. Follow our page. You know, the task at hand is to really reunite people who feel like they have no one, right? Every indigenous group feels like we're isolated and that we're the small indigenous group that gets taken advantage of. But the truth is, if those families would join with another family and so on and so forth and recognize that indigenous principles, indigenous perspectives are one and the same, then the unity starts to become innate. And that's the purpose of my show here. This is the purpose of my podcast, is to break down the barriers between indigenous communities, not to overthrow a system, because that's their mess to deal with. We need to rebuild our system. What is our ecosystem? What is our version of unity as indigenous people, right? And we do that in many ways. We do it through ceremony, but this show will focus on hip hop, right? Hip hop artists that have something to say regarding identity, social issues, so on and so forth. I try to show you a couple today, and we'll continue to show you many more as weeks to come. But please follow us on twitch.tv/LA Natives. I promise you I'll have my logo. Show will be a little tighter, and we're going to move forward with this, man, because I don't feel bad about what we did. I mean, I think we did a good job. What do you think, Armando?
This is historic.
And thanks. Shout out to Ugblog. Go follow Ugblog. This guy's a genius, man. And I know he doesn't like me talking about him like this, but man, this brother knows what's up. And thank you very much, Armando, for giving me this shot. And let's continue on with maybe a couple more songs, and then I'm gonna introduce a very important person in my life, and then we'll say goodbye and build our foundation from there. So let's pull up. Let's see what video what I sent you.
Hey, do you want to know how we built a $1 billion coaching company with just one?
That one. Okay. So this song right here is from Mexico City. And this is what I'm talking about. Indigenous communities coming together and creating independent hip-hop. Hip-hop that hasn't been heard in this way from the motherland of Mexico. A whole colectivo. Turn off the beat.
yamin tukurich wenashati kahuchain de hambre no picuarinas no tarera tintas.
Ya se fueron los malos tiempos violentos, a los 4 elementos, por los 4 vientos, tiempos de justicia y dignidad. Dios ilumina a mi gente en Cherán. Nuevas generaciones han llegado para curarla. Niños, niñas, abuelitos, vamos a cuidarla. Intereses monetarios que mataban a la tierra. Movimiento pacifista, no queremos aquí guerra. Si te arrancan un árbol, yo voy a sembrar 10. Si te tiran mala vibra, yo la vuelvo al revés. Transnacionales, internacionales se van de mi país. Edad dorada ilumina ahora mi raíz. Atmósfera mágica huele a verde anís. Levantando ya la milpa, hoy cosecho mi maíz.
Han matado a mi padre, han matado a mi brother, han asesinado a todos los pinos. Estamos unidos esquina en esquina, es a fuego, vecino a vecino. Cherán, tierra de chamán, tierra ancestral sagrada. Cherán, no pueden pasar, no hay políticos ni policía. ¿Y dónde están? Dime dónde están. El gobierno no sé a dónde está y nos da igual. La profecía ya se está cumpliendo y no la pueden frenar, no la pueden frenar, no la pueden frenar.
No la pueden frenar y no van a parar la fuerza que alimenta nuestro caminar. Pues el sexto sol asoma su destello en medio de la densa oscuridad. Con sus rayos dorados se abre paso en la penumbra de esta realidad. Para iluminar de nuevo y para purificar de lleno a la humanidad. De fogata en fogata la voz corre a prisa. La gente en cada plaza se organiza. Se aviva la chispa de entre la ceniza. La de la esperanza que la piel eriza.
Hijos de la madre tierra, nuestro canto, nuestro rezo, se van elevando el cielo para que escuchen nuestro sueño. Ya se despertó mi pueblo, saliendo a encender el fuego. La semilla va creciendo, la esperanza está creciendo.
Alma de lluvia, alma de mi tierra, alma del bosque, alma de mi gente. Alma de lluvia, alma de mi tierra, corazón purépecha. Del corazón de la tierra se escuchó el llamado de Cherán. Defendiendo el bosque luchan por la vida, paz y dignidad. Es un mundo nuevo de amor y raíz ancestral. Sin miedo y sin odio vive el pueblo digno de Cherán.
Jujuchas espásperan, era chintan, yamin torecha. Kasandar cheran jeranapuecha, mar cuentan era chicuechan, cachun bikingon, cajucha iswin apintak, kimboktat kericha, isnarita chishan, kayis winapit porechan no andachero.
Mil hachas no podrán y me alzo con mis ramas, alas de esperanza y dignidad. 1000 balas no entrarán, mi tronco corazón resistirá y florecerán mis ganas de cantar a las aves y a las nubes y la amistad de 1000 almas hermanas ya, que danzan al celebrar la fuerza y belleza de Cherán. La fuerza y la belleza, la visión y el coraje de la lucha del pueblo de Cherán.
And it's a good image, too. Check, check. So, por toda la comunidad de México, también hablamos español en este, ¿cómo se dice? En este programa, un podcast. So, la comunidad de México, por favor, enséñenles el twitch.tv/LA Natives. Compártenlas. Esta comunidad es bilingüe. Vamos a hablar en español también. Another colonized tongue that we have to and forced to use, but we will use it as a strategy to reach the people out there, you know, all the people across Anahuac, across Turtle Island, toda la gente que viene de México, Suramérica, todas las comunidades que viven allá. Ya es tiempo de reconocer que somos una comunidad, somos una gente. Tenemos una madre, tenemos un padre. Los padres cielos, la madre tierra y todos los alimentos que vienen con ella. Estos alimentos los dan la vida y en este programa vamos a hablar de esto. Vamos a compartir música de México y de cualquier comunidad que quiera mandar música. So, estamos aquí por ustedes, la gran comunidad indígena, unida, juntos, trabajando, sabiendo que esto no se va a sanar en un día. Esto va a tener generaciones. But yeah, man, I just want to show people that I could speak Spanish as well. And you know, in the show, we're gonna eventually start taking phone calls. And so, whoever, I want to encourage people who speak Spanish, English, and we'll figure it out, you know, for the other languages. But you know, yeah.
Shout out to the 9 viewers, simultaneous viewers. This is Zero's first podcast episode, and man, that's dedication right there.
Yeah, thank you for those people because, you know, your support, I know, and your word to mouth sharing of the podcast, because we don't have millions of dollars and we're not corporately sponsored yet. But, you know, little by little, we'll get to the word out. And shout out to those 9 people. Much love and respect. So I want to bring somebody very important to me to my podcast, because I think if I plant the seed right, that, you know, it would be good. So if we could set her up real quickly. This person is probably one of the most important persons that ever came into my life. And her name is Jenny Silva, my partner, my soulmate. Get over here, baby. Stop commenting. And say hi to our new audience. I know you won't be on the show every day, but hopefully you will. Plus, you have one of the dopest. You have our new logo. Hopefully, JT will allow us to use the logo. But I want everybody to see the logo. Hopefully, my brother right here, JT. Is it cool? You getting it? Show him the logo, baby, on the camera. Boom. LANatives.tv/LA Natives. Say hello to Jennifer Silva. Jenny. Let's see. Fix your mic. Get this ready. You gotta try to talk into.
Hello.
There you are.
At 1311113.
This is my partner in life. She helped me start a family, and I wanna just let the community out there know that anything I do is because of my family, right? And this person is the chief commander, at least in my heart. And say hi, baby.
Hi, everybody. Nice to meet everybody.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Jenny. I am Zero El Vuh's compañera and twin flame and reflection of him for the past 22 years. I am here just to be a reflection of the beautiful medicine that you offer to our communities. And I also like to mention that I am your #1 fan.
Cool. Perfect. Well, thank you for your support. You know, you supported me and our family, but you also support the Women Nation, you know, and the Women Nation needs some healing. They need some leaders, and there's many of them out there. And I think you're well on your way to being one of those leaders, you know, with the blessings of our elders and understanding what our commitment is. You know, the 7-generation familia that we sat there one day talking at 3 a.m, going, you know, what is this? What are we doing? Do we need to argue, or do we need to build the next 7 generations? And what is that? Yeah, it's time to do that, right?
Yeah, it is time to do that. And this is a great opportunity to do that because it gives us the opportunity to express and share our passions with the community and share what has helped us, and not just in our relationship, but in our family. And this does come through music, you know, and this hip hop movement. And again, this is the first podcast of many more that you're going to have. So the many more artists that you're going to share, you know, this music is healing. Music does heal. So this is one aspect of what has helped us in our journey.
Well, it's just that people don't really know that Jenny, when she gets in her car, will bust out Wu-Tang Forever and just start bopping with the old early 90s classics of Wu-Tang.
Yeah, definitely. They're
Like,
definitely,
you
hip hop
need-
is my stress reliever. Yes, I'm a mother of 4, so for me, it's like I need you know, some of the music you can't listen to when you have kids in the car. So my little stress away is a ride for my own and just listening to that old school 90s hip hop.
Yeah, man, she's really deep into the early 90s classics. And so, you know, Underground Hip Hop Blog has found a, you know, family of hip hop, indigenous hip hop, old school hip hop. We're going to bring it back. We're going to use this format and just letting people know that you are a major hip hop head. So for those of you,
Bringing it with an indigenous Chicana twist.
Exactly. Right, there's female artists that we need to expose
big time.
on this platform as well, right? There's a lot of, you know, women that are sharing the message that needs to be shared, you know, and not in a dominating man way, but in a way that's, you know,
The representation, the balance of life, the omenteo.
and letting them
the
know
woman
that they
and the
have
man.
talent too, and they have
Yeah.
a voice and a platform as well.
Oh, yeah.
So I have to, you know, just thank you once again for supporting me today and introducing everyone to who my inspiration is when I wake up in the morning and I see your face. And we work together on this life that we call, you know, our challenges and our and building these new foundations, right? This new podcast. You obviously do things on a level that's, you know, we'll get into in a future show, but the introduction is made.
Oh, thank you.
I love you.
I love you too. Back to you. Thank you.
All right, so let's put up one more song, and then I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys. Whichever link.
Shout out. Wait a
Oh, go for it.
I want to give a quick shout out.
To?
You know, we're like talking all about alienative, and we're promoting this T-shirt.
Oh, that's
you
right.
know? So we really want to give a big shout out to our big, really good brother of ours, JT, out in the Jesus Torres, no?
Yeah, he's in Philadelphia, I think, and follow him. His name in Instagram is Azteki1.
I'll go ahead and share it on the comments right
Absolutely,
now. So
share it on the
a
comments.
big shout out for this T-shirt and his logo and stuff.
Lasso Kamatli, brother, I hope you let me use this. It's gonna happen. I hope. Anyways, thank you very much. We're gonna get into this next jam right here. Let's see, which one is this?
We got Rap de Luz.
Oh, Rap de Luz. Now, before you get into this track, brother, these guys are performance artists from Mexico, and they take hip hop lyricism to a different level. But enjoy this track.
El venado hizo un llamado y respondimos, asumimos nuestro espacio y despacio descubrimos que somos un círculo dentro de un círculo, sin principio ni final. Somos el vínculo entre lo terrenal y lo espiritual, responsables de nuestra labor de ser canal, de ser transmisores del mensaje. Somos el quetzal y la serpiente, la pluma del mestizaje.
Tierra y fuego son nuestro anclaje, pasado y presente, presentes en la velación. Vamos cantando, escuchando el abuelo que nos muestra la conexión, uniendo dos naciones, voces, intenciones y oraciones sobre una canción.
El canto del maraca me sana, nos lleva juntos y vuela hacia el culto de la Pachamama que llama. Solo quiere respeto y no nos pide más. Canción para la unión de los pueblos indígenas. Somos el enlace que hace que pase, se tracen más caminos de conocimiento. El corazón del águila que vacila en el viento. Nuestras ofrendas van cargadas con sus intenciones, por la fuerza de seguir enlazando tradiciones. Llegamos a este punto y juntos descifraremos misterios profundos, aprendizajes, lenguajes maternos del mundo, pasajes infinitos, cuentos místicos, chamánicos, nahuales inmortales, guardianes de lo más básico.
No, but he'll say some weird shit, like he's like that weirdo dude.
Check. Yo, that was Rap de Luz. And yeah, so I'm just going to say goodbye and let people know that we'll be here every Sunday. Follow us on, look for us on Instagram. We're going to set a new page up. Follow us at twitch.tv/LA Natives. We're going to get more guests. We're going to get more organized. And I'm going to find somebody else to sit here and kind of help me out with this too. So our first show, hopefully you enjoyed it and I exposed you to some music that you maybe weren't aware of. And now you are, because indigenous hip hop is very diverse. I don't want to stick to just, urban versions of hip hop, because hip hop has elements in so many different, has so many roots in so many countries in so many places. But I'm gonna focus in on our Turtle Island, our place, our home, the place that we call home, which is Turtle Island, Anahuac, and there's many, many other names by our grand community that lives out there. So to all that community that's there, put your ear out. You know, we have this new podcast, LA Natives. You know, come visit us. Come spend some time with us on Sundays, 4 o'clock. And hopefully we'll be exchanging information that will have some influence and bring us back and put us back on that path, you know, that path of truth, of connection, that connection that we have with our Mother Earth, the connection that we have with our fellow human beings and our animal family and our nature family and all the families all together. I know it doesn't sound, you know, aggressive and revolutionary, but I don't want to be revolutionary. I want to fix things. I don't even want to fix it. I just want to contribute. I want to bring my piece and my share of the wood to this big grand fire that we need to bring back because our abuelos are begging for us to bring it back now. What I should rephrase that. They're not begging us. They're telling us it's time. It's time. LA Natives, Underground Hip Hop Blog, Tlazocamatli, Mexicatiahui, Hometeo.